Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way for you to grow your wealth. Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts, and each episode I am joined by some of the best real estate minds, financial and wealth advisors in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration, so together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. Hey, I'm excited about our next guest. He's a best-selling author. He's a real estate investor, entrepreneur, and national speaker. And he focuses on how to help close more deals and raise more money with your expert positioning book, and how to and he's going to talk about how. Let's start that over. All right, I'm reading probably the wrong spot here. Show notes. Let me give you where's the bio?
It's the page before.
Yeah, so let me just see. Show titles, show notes, max introduction. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's the page number 2. I think that's a good one. Okay, so let me do that over. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way for you to grow your wealth. I'm your host, Brett Swarts. Each episode, I am joined by some of the best real estate minds, financial and wealth advisors in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration, so together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. Hey, I'm excited about our next guest. He is a best-selling author, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and national speaker. When it comes to residential real estate, most successful investors will tell you that 80% of their time is focused on 2 things: finding deals and funding deals. And it's no secret, motivated seller leads are the lifeblood for real estate investors. And so if you are investing in a highly competitive market packed with flippers and wholesalers, competition for those leads is fierce. Our next guest is an expert when it comes to sourcing those leads. In just a few years, he went from being a full-time high school math teacher to flipping over 100 houses. And he's going to share some of his unique marketing approaches with us today. And so please welcome to the show with me, Max Keller. Hey, Max, how you doing?
Hey, great. How you doing, sir?
Hey, better than I deserve. Excited to have you on the show and to dive in with you a bit here. This is our short episode introducing the full show, but give our listeners a little bit about your current focus and a little bit about your backstory.
Sure. Yeah. So, I was a full-time math teacher. I wanted, more out of life. I wanted to, grow my portfolio and my net worth, and it was just really hard to do that on a fixed income. So I got into real estate just passively, just from a part-time standpoint, and thought I was just, going to pick up a couple rentals a year and stay teaching. And then, I really found the love and the passion and excitement for real estate, and just went full-time in a short amount of time, flipped about 100 houses, and started noticing that, whether it's from the passive side or the active side, I do both now. You've got to have deal flow, and you've got to get those deals, whether, you're getting them yourself or it's, through somebody else. And so, I had to just continue to get better with deal flow. I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. It's a very competitive market. And so I started looking at, where I was getting my deals from, why it felt like I was basically just chasing these deals, and, the margins were getting really thin. And so I started looking for, new and more innovative ways to get these deals. And, what happened for me was I noticed that, if I didn't have a consistent stream of deal flow, then, whether it was just an active deal I wanted to do, or if I needed something to roll into a 1031, it wasn't there. So I needed to always have a constant source of properties that were at a discount. And the deals, when I started getting into real estate, what I found is that the discount was bigger, just kept getting smaller, and I couldn't figure out why. And, what I found is that, I was chasing the exact same, motivated sellers that all the other investors and all the other wholesalers were, and, and all the other buy and hold people were chasing too. And so I had to kind of figure out a better way to get leads and get better deals. So what I did was I just went through the deal stack that I had already done. And I was really looking for 3 things. I was looking for deals that, the seller, first of all, I had to make a good profit on the deal. So I went back and did some analysis. I was like, okay, what deals do I have in my portfolio that I made really good profit on, had really good margin on? So that's number one. Number two was, what deals have I already done that the seller, when I was working with them directly, there was like minimal resistance to my offer. It was just a really, really smooth process. And then number three, which one did I like actually enjoy working with the seller? And when I went through all of my deals, I found that most of my deals, unfortunately, did not meet the criteria. But the few that did, the pattern that I saw, being a math teacher looking for patterns, was that they were all senior homeowners. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really expect that. And so then I started going on like these little mini quests. And then I started to figure out, okay, well, where did these leads come from? And so I looked back at the senior homeowner deals that I did, and, they don't fit the typical motivated seller profile. They weren't on, they didn't have back taxes. The house wasn't vacant. They weren't a tired landlord. They weren't in foreclosure. A lot of them didn't even have a mortgage. And so I started to find more of those. And a lot of times it actually wasn't the senior who reached out to me. It was the adult children. And
excellent.
So, I went through that process and discovered that there's a really good untapped source of motivated leads. And, in our future episode, I'm going to really break down those details.
Perfect. Yeah, we're talking about those secrets, break those down, and then share about your book and everything else and how you can connect with Max. In the meantime, we want to focus on the one big question and curious, overselling over 100 homes now and maybe helping others do the same thing. And, what's been the biggest frustration when it comes to capital gains tax deferral for yourself, a friend, a partner, or someone that you've known?
Yeah. So I think the number one thing that I've experienced and my friends and folks in my community have experienced is timing. It's timing everything right to where, when you have to make that exchange, is there a property there? And if it isn't, there's just such a temptation to overpay. I was in a pretty good spot most of the time because I'm an active real estate investor. So I'm always, have deal flow and I can, put it in a house if I'm doing an exchange. But some of my friends were in the same situation. So they really relied on me and other active real estate investors to go out and aggregate that deal flow, so they can, get the best of both worlds. You want to get the tax benefit, but we don't want to get the tax benefit just, and then have to overpay for a property. So that was the thing that I just kind of kept seeing come up over and over again.
Yeah. So the biggest frustration with capital gains tax deferral being the timing with the 1031 exchange, and the result being oftentimes or sometimes feeling like you've overpaid, or maybe you really did overpay because of that short window of 45 days to identify and 180 days to close. It is a common thing with the 1031. We call it the sell high, buy higher 180 days later. And our parents taught us to do the opposite, to actually sell high and buy low. But too often, if there's low inventory and this short time frame to identify properties within 45 days, it's difficult to trade out of those markets. You're trading in the same seller's market. Now, you might find a deal. You can always find a deal, not to say you can't. And if you search hard enough and have enough leads like we're going to talk about, you can put yourself in a higher probability space of actually selling high and still buying low because you found a good deal. But it can be a challenge. And that's where we have a solution called the Deferred Sales Trust. It can save a failed 1031 exchange, and it can be an alternative completely. And it works for any property, whether it be a primary home, whether it be a business, whether it be stock, public or private, and whether it be commercial real estate as well. But we'll dig into that more on the next episode. In the meantime, Max, if people want to connect with you right now, they're saying, hey, I want to learn how to buy homes, and I want to learn how to flip homes, and I want to learn how to get seller leads. What's the best place for them to connect with you, Max?
Yeah, so our website's good, and I'll give them a special link where I can give them access to some resources for free. It's Deals Chasing You, because that's what we want. We don't want to go chase deals. We want them to chase us, right? So it's Deals Chasing You /Brett with 2
Excellent.
T's.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's I love that. Fantastic. So everyone go there and check that out, and please rate, review, subscribe, and look for the next full episode to drop here very shortly on iTunes. And if you're looking for any help with capital gains tax, go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to learn more. Or if you're a business professional listening to this, go to experttaxsecrets.com. Thanks so much.